Welcome back to MobilityWOD Scandinavian style. Here we are with the Norwegian national one-arm ball pressing champion for 2 reps. We're messing around in the hotel gym, which is what it's always all about. Watch your finger to make. And today we're going to talk about common problems that we see all the time and using a movement to help spot another problem. We see a lot of calf issues, a lot of Achilles heel cord stuff. We've talked incessantly about making sure that that skin can glide over the Achilles, make sure that yours is loose. But one of the things we're going to show you today is that when we're jump roping, we can use a jump rope to cue a couple things. One is my athlete breaking too much? We want to be a fence post. If you think about the Buddy Lee basic bounce, right? Can I be in a good position in the air? In gymnastics, the rule is if you're in the air, you better have your butt on. And that's because when I'm in the air, the passive loading of the hip is going to naturally take me into extension. So what's going to happen is that if I don't have my butt squeezed in a tight position and bouncing in the same position, which looks like the same position I should come off the box on, right? When I'm doing box jumps, I end up loading overextended and consistently load overextended. That can lead to neurodynamic problems. Also teaches me that I'm always going to be short in the hip, slightly bent knee, slightly flexed ankle, and then when I need to go and practice being in full extension or triple extension, I'm going to have some passive piece. The smallest bit is downstream, so if I'm going to open here, open the knee radically, then this calf can get really funny. So if we're using the jump rope to kind of see these things, we should be able to see our athletes, so take the sprinkler out, in a tight position, shoulders back, and in fact, if I don't rotate and keep the rib cage down, shoulders come forward, and now I've reinforced the bad shoulder position too. So we want to see squeeze the butt, rib cage down, reinforcing an overhead position. What you'll see is we've turned jump rope from an aerobic exercise into a positional exercise, where I should have my butt on, and I should be straight up and down, a nice integrated position, versus the kind of spastic, weird landing or the in the air double spaz thing. And we want to see is a really rigid, consistent bounce where the back and ankles aren't implicated. And now that's a bounce and a strategy where I'm reinforcing good mechanics in the air. So when we get these problems, we're going to solve that today. And if that's you and you're having a hard time coming off the triple extension, this is what we're going to do. For one, working from the bottom up, let's get you guys grabbing a barbell or something, and let's smash some of that plantar fascia in the feet. So we're going to just roll out that foot. You can start from the front. Yami and I were just talking about, is it better to just go one direction, hang out? If you find a spot back and forth, you can maintain a good foot position. I find that right in this region, it's really ugly the most, and it feels crackly and gross. Out here is no problem, but literally, if I listen, it feels like gristle. So I'm just going to hit that gristle area back and forth. Keep working the base of the heel. Remember that that plantar fascia attaches from the heel, spreads out to the kind of metatarsal heads. So let's get in there, back and forth. Let's spend a minute both sides so that we can shorten that foot effectively. Remember, shortened nasty tissue doesn't lengthen. So conversely, if I'm having an Achilles pulling problem, I potentially want to make sure that both sides of the joint are open. And so we're always, we say a joint isn't normal and healthy till I can fully extend and fully flex both directions. So here's what we're going to do today to try to hit, instead of hitting the calf, a lot of ways to hit this. This is one. I think this is just fine. If you can sit in this position, that's great. This is a normal good sitting position anyway. If you're a professional canoeist, it's super easy. But what I'm going to do is just lock off and just kind of be rigid. I don't need to lean way back and challenge my knees, but I can just start to apply a little pressure, and then I can roll around and kind of capture those various aspects of that anterior tib. And once I find a spot that's super tight, I can just contract, relax here, hold, don't let me move me, release, and then kind of go a little bit further. And really, this feels great. If you feel an impingement, try to move off, come back in, and really think about kind of looking through that whole range. Just like we scour the whole capsule, in this position, I feel really restricted out here, ends up kind of being more peroneal and feeling that lateral side. So let's make sure you're open, and then let's do some hunting. So let's go a minute or so, contract, relaxing. And if you'll see, I just did a little bit of time here, but you can see that my point is much better on this side, right? Which means I've given myself some room for this calf to be more effective, that I don't have to be short, and the calf isn't loading against a quadriceps. Hey, so there's that same analogy again. So let's hang out there, and then following that further up, we got to get you guys into the anterior hip. And you can do this on the floor, but I think doing it even on an elevated surface is good. So working on that same side, I'll put that leg back. I'm just going to start to load back, open up that hip a little bit further, hang out. You can turn the foot in, and again, go hunting in those corners. If you don't have something available to you on the floor, it's just fine. You can even point the toe for a little bit different effect, kind of carrying that idea through the whole piece. It's harder to do that on an up surface. And then I lock. Remember, Adrian likes to lift the leg up. That's fine. As long as you can squeeze the butt and maintain that good position, not challenge the back too much. Push back, hit it again, and then go hunting in here. And you'll notice if I just go off to the side, place my hand on my knee, really wind up, I end up with a nice big opener through some of this gristle, and it feels super, super gristly, yeah? So let's add that thing. So we've got, first, let's roll the ball of your foot. Second, let's work on that anterior tib. Third, let's get into this position, contracting, relaxing, and then we're gonna, even if you retest, you should feel there's a difference. And if you look at the side, this is not kidding, it's much easier for me to get this leg underneath me, supporting, and this is me trying to do both sides. And this side snaps to, much more integrated. And if that means I'm in a jumping position where I can fully extend more effectively, you'll notice that I'm much more organized on this side than I'm on this side. All right? And then for the win, 2-ball press. Here it is. Not these young mobilization stars, the old, broken down, dog.
Jedi Masters.
It's really about the UK versus the USA right now. I'm not saying who's better, but that's 1, that's 2, nice and tight. 3 for the win, 4 to rub it in. Oh. It's only 20 kg, kids, no problem. Midline stabilization, shutting down all day. Talk to you guys tomorrow.